Fog happens. It's evening as I drive home from Colton with my family. Fog like I never have seen before in Canton. Thicker during the dips in the road. I slow down and give my attention to the one only thing I can, the double yellow center lines. Things sure look different clogged in fog. Where are we? Are we even on State Route 68 anymore? Should I pull over, or would that be more dangerous to pull over? Collectively and individually, we come across times of fog. We know it will lift, but who knows when? Our spirituality gives us tools to guide us on this unconscious quest to find meaning through the fog, to find meaning through the fog. Thinking, being, doing, feeling. Similar to how Hinduism has 4 types of yoga, Jnana, Bhakti, Karma, and Raja, there are 4 ways of spirituality. Each one of us has a preferred preference for 1 or 2 and a lesser attachment to the other 2. I theorize, at least. Let's try them on and see which ones fit the best. Are you attracted to intellectually powerful sermons and lectures? Is study a way to finding deep meaning and the sacred? Do you like ideas, theology, and revere the written word? Do you love the rational and the logical? Do you love to ask big questions? If you can say yes to many of these, perhaps your spiritual orientation is thinking. Beers, not beers, yeah. Beers value the journey, the beauty of the moment, the observation, and the quest is always more important than the arrival. Are you a nature mystic and get spiritually filled with slow walks in the woods? Do you pause to listen and look in the silence for the stillness? Can you do almost anything and be content in it? Chances are you are a beer. Thoreau went to Walden to find his inner Walden. I said to a wise woman who asked me about my sabbatical, my inner Walden is with me wherever I go. The wise woman then said, "Ah, good work. You have found being." Doers are actively pursuing social justice causes, giving up of oneself, impatient with the other 3 types. Do you feel most alive when you are helping others and immersed in a greater cause than yourself? Maybe you are a doer. Does your main spiritual path entail feeling the Spirit move in all its glorious highs and melancholy lows? Do you love music and hearing someone's story? Do informal worship styles speak to you? Then maybe you are a feeler. But here's the challenge. If we are naturally doers, we need to be balanced out with being, or we'll get burned out. Feelers need thinking, or you would be on a roller coaster of emotion. Thinkers need feeling. Otherwise, you become dry ideas. Beers need doing. After all, we can't just be all the time. Nothing would get done. If we think of these four as quadrants of spirituality, thinking, being, doing, and feeling, divided into squares, we can aim to be a central circle that overlaps each edge. We can be in that circle that touches all four. Certain things take all four, like learning music. Music takes repetition, doing things over and over, but thinking also is a major role. We have to know our mistakes and learn from them. If we are doing and thinking together, it is easier to be in the music and to feel the music. Not only do we as individuals have preferences, each faith community has its own spiritual orientation. Unitarian Universalism as a whole is very comfortable at what? What do you think? I heard a lot of thinking. That's my guess too, thinking and doing. When I was in ministerial search 7 years ago, I swear every congregational survey that I looked at put high on their preacher wish list, intellectual stimulation. We tend to be comfortable reading and studying and doing and working for social justice. It's hard to say what spiritual orientation this particular congregation has and is. I've gotten to know many people here over the years, and for every thinker, there is a feeler. For every doer, there is a beer. But my guess is that because we are UUs, we are most comfortable thinking and doing. A Unitarian Universalist dies, and on the path to life after death, he sees two signs. One says heaven with an arrow pointing that way. And there's another sign that says heaven, a class led by a world-renowned scholar about the meaning and history of heaven. Guess which one the UU picks? Here's the beauty, though, of our band. Beers need doers, thinkers need feelers, feelers need thinkers, doers need beers. We work together and are better off than we would ever be alone. Together, we can achieve a balanced, well-rounded spirituality. Each of us, combined together, form a deeper wholeness. There are elements of thinking, being, doing, and feeling in this worship service. Moments of pause that restore our sense of being. I hope there is some sort of logic to this sermon that put you mind forward into new understandings. And I hope there is some element of praise, mystery, adoration, elation that's part of our experience. And in being, feeling, and thinking together, we can do the work of justice in our lives. Everything has a season, everything a time. The author of Ecclesiastes uses seemingly opposites like silence and speaking to represent life's totality and variety. 7 is a very important number in the Bible. It's a number of completeness. So it's not by accident that there are 14 of these opposites pairs, 2 times 7. There is a sort of totality to seasons and time. Time and circumstances can invert these seemingly good and bad attributes, but in God's time, there is a time for everything. We would prefer times of peace, but sometimes war is justified. There are times and circumstances where we may lean on one of the 4 more than the others, thinking more than doing. Currently, we are transitioning from a pandemic to a post-pandemic world. We are moving into a society where organized religion is less important in people's lives than it once was. We are perhaps transforming into something spiritually that we may not know yet. We didn't choose to be on this foggy road. It just sort of happened. We would rather have things clear. We would rather have things like they were. These are signs that we are in a liminal season. Liminality is the grayness of ambiguity. We left behind the warm hearth of certainty and have not yet arrived safely at our destination. We are dipping into low clouds of unknowing, and we don't have GPS or smartphones to tell us where to go. The peak of the pandemic was terrifying, but it was at least obvious what to do. Shut down, lock our doors, not let people in, move to Zoom, change to a dual platform worship format, make new policies that are aligned with the latest health guidance from the CDC. Now health departments give us little to no guidance on anything. Liminality is the in-between, where the destination is not visible, and beyond the white lines of the road are unknown, dark, uncharted wilderness where not even the stars can guide us. After a faith community experiences a crisis, a season of liminality is to be expected. It gives us time to reevaluate what is of importance. An old order is fading away, and a new one is not quite built. What is required individually and collectively is a liminal float, a season of waiting, of not knowing. And this might be difficult for the doers and thinkers that we are. To wait and to unknow is unsettling. In the liminal season, being needs to take precedence. So we slow down our thinking, observe our judgments, examine our own assumptions and biases. When we let our thoughts pass, we let the mystery pervade. The need for control then dissipates. When our thinking is intimately connected to being, we think bigger. We think more creatively. We imagine new ways that have never been thought before. We connect more immediately to our mission, and we become more community focused. There is a season for everything. For the soul to search, for the fog-clogged mystery of spirit to emerge. We can be grateful for the disruption of order, for it is a call to contemplate. Contemplate these spaces of unknowing, these unexpected ways. What is this liminal season we live in? Listen. Listen to the sappy pines and the drippy forests waiting for winter. The past leaves have been cleared, and it's never been quite like this before. We are transforming into a new season. Unitarian Universalism and individuals, and from what I gather, every other organization is also in sort of a liminal season. Things are gray, fogged. We should lean into the ever-present yellow center of being. We can create our way out. A time for being intimately connected to thinking. A time of doing intimately connected with being. Doing then becomes effortless action. Thinking becomes community-centered, strategic, deeper, a thinking that is interconnected with feeling, being, and doing is a wonderful place to be in amidst the fog. Our doings become learnings. Our feelings lead to acceptance. There is a season, a time to be, a time to think, a time to do, a time to feel, a time for the uncertainty of fog, a time for grayness, a time for rebirth, a time for experiment, and a time for learning the art of in-betweenness. Amen. So may it be.